Simple but wrong. China's economy was less harmed by the tariff wars than expected. China's economy was less harmed by the tariff war than expected.
By the war.
Tariff war.
Tariff means very
Tariff is about you
trade
sell.
war.
No, tariff is about you charge money when something comes from China, you charge money for that. Just because from China, you charge money.
Okay, so that means China's economy was less harm. Means
Yeah.
They was harm, but not too much harm.
Right, by the tariff war.
Than expected.
Right.
Okay.
It has been far more resilient to the COVID-19 pandemic, whatever. The IMF forecasts the growth of 1% in 2020 compared with a drop of 8% in America. So anyway, so it says resilient. Maybe that's only care about. Resilient.
Resilient.
Yeah. It has been far more resilient.
Far more resilient. Means good. Good.
No.
Bad.
Why? No. Good and bad doesn't make sense here. It has been far more resilient to COVID-19 pandemic. Why is it good or bad? Doesn't make any sense. China has been blah 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 to the COVID pandemic.
Yeah.
Why good and bad doesn't make sense? China has been
Control.
Okay, control could be one. But control to the pandemic doesn't make sense either. You're not controlled to the pandemic.
Suffered?
No, China did not suffer. Number one.
Yeah. Overcome.
Okay, so what's the opposite of suffered? Like they become more.
Enjoy. Oh, it means
they means that they can hold.
They can hold.
They can hold together more. They're more. They didn't suffer too much because of the pandemic.
So resilient means doesn't suffer too much.
Yeah.
Far from no.
Mm-hmm.
So
far more, not far from.
Far more means what? Too ma.
Huh? Far more
means more than this.
No. Far more resilient means that they were very resilient.
Very resilient.
To the COVID-19.
Oh, means can hold it, can control it.
Yeah.
Okay. So this forecast grows 100. 1% in 2020. It means China, right?
Yeah.
Compared with 8% drop in America. Means China goes 1% and
Yeah,
American down.
whatever.
So what is IFM?
International Monetary Fund. It's just a group of people who control a lot of money.
Oh.
Shenzhen is the world's best performing big stock market this year, not New York. Or whatever. There's a stock market in Shenzhen or whatever.
Best performing big stock market than New York.
Yeah, and as our briefing explains, China's leader, Xi Jinping, is reinventing state capitalism for the 2020s. Our briefing, I don't know what briefing, maybe this, they're talking about how Xi Jinping is changing the capitalism in China.
So reinventing is changing, right? State capitalism.
Reinventing is not changing. We talked about invent before.
Create. You say create,
yeah, okay,
right?
Uh-huh.
So create the state capitalism means the government control the money.
No, capitalism is capitalism. State capitalism, I don't know. It's just like, I don't know. It's just, the meaning here, it just means a special type of capitalism for China. Yeah, state capitalism.
So last time I asked you what capitalism mean, because before
capitalism just means like you
tell me it's money.
It's a free market.
Free market means
I make something, I sell it to you, you buy it, I make money. That's all.
So the company is owned by the private person, not by the government, right? Capitalism. Most of the
capitalism, like I get to do, if I can borrow money, make money. It's a free market. That's the best idea.
Market. Okay.
Forget belching steel plants and quotas. What?
Forget what?
Belching steel plants and quotas.
Oh.
Can we skip this one and talk about that later?
Okay.
Mr. Xi's new economic agenda is to make markets and innovation work better within tightly defined boundaries and subject to all-seeing Communist Party surveillance. Whatever. His agenda. This was the main sentence? What's the main sentence?
His new economic agenda is to make.
Yeah, okay, fine. So his agenda, what's agenda?
Plan.
Yeah, to make markets and innovation work better So his plan is to make markets
make it better.
innovation work better within tightly defined boundaries and subject to all-seeing Communist Party surveillance. So just he wants to make markets and innovation work better.
Yeah.
Okay. The rest doesn't really matter because it says within a tightly means that he wants to make this market and innovation work even if China government is looking very carefully at you.
Tightly defined boundaries.
Yeah.
Within tightly defined means defined boundaries.
It doesn't mean anything here because he didn't define what those boundaries are, so it doesn't mean anything.
What do boundaries mean?
Boundaries, like everything has a boundary. This table has a boundary.
Oh.
Just like
what does define mean?
Define, but just define. Definition,
Definition?
Like definition, like dictionary has definition.
Okay.
Define boundaries means like set a limit for you.
And subject to now.
Subject to means like, what is subject to?
So it's a free.
Yeah, subject to is a phrase.
Because of?
No. Under, kind of
under.
Like, under Chinese surveillance.
Under to all seeing
under surveillance. Communist Party surveillance. That's all you need to know.
What does surveillance mean?
Survey.
What does surveillance
looking at you.
mean?
Looking at you.
Survey means looking at you. Surveillance means
it's making sure looking at you what you're doing. The surveillance.
always looking at you.
Yeah. It isn't Milton Friedman, but this ruthless mix of autocracy, technology, and dynamism could propel growth for years. Milton Friedman is probably about capitalism, so maybe Friedman has some idea about capitalism. You have to look it up. If Milton Friedman is kind of economist.
So this means capitalism.
Again, Milton Friedman is a person, and he probably has some idea about capitalism. I don't know what it is, so you have to look it up. But this ruthless means without, almost without feeling, ruthless, like very without compassion kind of thing, ruthless. Mix of autocracy means you govern yourself, technology and dynamism could propel growth for years. Dynamism, you can change. Dynamic means you can change stuff around. Technology is technology. Autocracy means like I'm not exactly sure what autocracy is. I feel like autocracy is you can govern yourself, but I don't think that's what that means. Okay.
Could
propel growth. Push growth, move growth up for years. Okay, anyway, this sentence is bad because it doesn't say anything, okay?
It isn't this.
It doesn't say anything because, okay, all this paragraph doesn't say anything, alright?